is Polonic with 91. Everyone else has 70s or below. That is that was a damn good fight. That's the only way to describe that. That is not a clean sweep. That is
so far, actually.
That is two teams playing tug of war, and everyone is now covered in mud and blood.
I caught a glimpse of a couple of those battles, but U45N versus U4PD is just about to start. If you guys want to like all three cover that one.
Is this a second round or first?
They're just starting now. U45N was like doing a bit of strategy.
Okay, we'll head towards them then.
Right on, right on. You missed an incredible match, Slacker.
I mean, wow. I was kind of bouncing between the three while I waited for these guys, and yeah, it looks like it was pretty intense.
How are the others?
It looks like Legionnaires are struggling versus NTR, and then like BKG, they're kind of holding Quad Bros.
Very interesting. Damn, we can't watch all of them at the same time though. It's crazy.
You know, nudge, nudge. If we had a spectator mode.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
If only we had a community manager to talk to you about this.
Dang, man. Like someone that could talk between the players and the developers, but like can filter out all the random BS that always gets thrown back between the two. You know, I would pay someone to do that job. Do you know that? I would pay great money for someone to do that job.
And they have just begun. There's already a tank battle going on the far side. They seem to know each other's strats almost. This is kind of odd.
Yeah, I'll stay on U4PD if you want to stay on U45N.
Yeah, I'll stick on U45N. They've got loads of live streams going, so we can flick between them.
Yes. I believe U4PD Pair Division's the only one. He's doing really well with this HMG, though. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, there's been a surprising number of HMGs that I've seen, mostly from Power, in fairness, but they're doing the job. Like these kind of strategies are what U45N might not be expecting to some degree, because at least to my knowledge, they don't use this type of thing. If they're not expecting Power Division to build these type of things or the other teammates, they could sneak objectives here, or at least blitzkrieg certain parts of them.
As far as I can see, U45N's flanking on their right, U4PD's left, correct?
Looks like it, yes. There's also a tank that U45N have on the far right side, left side for U4PD.
The poor rocks are already getting rallied. Well. Or the poor rocks are already getting RD'd. Super hard.
His tank has already been murdered, mostly by Honk here.
Yeah.
I see the heavy machine gun setup on U4PD's side. That's actually a really good spot to put one, but it doesn't matter because they already took it down. That was Hero Unknown came in and just ran into the gray zone, killed 2 rallies and the heavy machine gun. And that was it. That was all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Hero was their flank player in the previous tournament. And he did his job very, very well. Now, he is an NA player playing on EU ping, so that's probably the best spot for him. What is that marked on? Is that an APC that's been driven up to the front of the objective? What is going on?
There was one of those, yeah. One of them's already gone. There's quite a few. There's another one there. All their tanks are being murdered by Honk here. Honka's got such a great position. He's clearing house. He's cleared all of the enemy, the U4PD's vehicles that keep spawning.
That's an amazing
I see
position,
where he's at. I see where he's at. Okay.
I've been watching this entire time. He hasn't died. He hasn't had any threat on him at all. And he's probably the reason why they've just taken this objective just now. Because
Honk is just going to deal with him.
They simply didn't deal with him.
What's he running? The Grant?
As well. He could just go to it.
He's running the T28,
Oh, no, he's running T28.
Yeah.
I've seen it now. I will say, after the Panzer IIIN getting tiered up to BR3 and becoming ineligible to be used, I fully expected people to just swap to the Panzer IV. But no, I've seen the T28, I've seen the M8 Scott, I've seen the Grant, I've seen the Crusader, I've even seen the Stuart with the flamethrower.
I just saw an M30 half track as well, by the way. That's one of those.
That it is a bot mulcher that can be really good whenever it's open, and the big point is nice and open. Now there is, I guess I'll talk about it here. There is a spot on the opposite hill of the first point that the defending tank can get into, and I wonder if Honk knows that spot and he will use it.
He's already like, there's a heavy MG being built. It looks, he's actually, it's actually the first thing that's damaged the tank. He's lost a few guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the strength of the T-26. It's like killing a whole school bus. You gotta go down seat by seat and kill them all.
They're not. They have to. U4PD have to deal with this. They don't. They're in trouble.
They need the plane. They need a plane.
It's just like that. Well, maybe they don't need to deal with it as much because now that tank has to go behind the walls. But those two, they had to deal with that tank earlier in order for them to stand a chance at defending those first two. But now it's behind the walls. That
right there is just that's 2 rallies killed with 1 HE shell from Hawk. We're just watching Hawk spank U4PD in the tank. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, he won them those 2.
Yep.
Oh, and then Triplex over on the other flank. Okay, that's crazy. Just 2 heavy flank tanks.
Yeah, that's something, especially from U4. So U45N, their strategy last tournament, I remember I interviewed Scar, and I said, what's the plan? How are you going to win? And he just said, we're going to win the ground. We don't care about vehicles. We're just going to win the ground. And that won him. And I won't lie, I expected him to pull the same thing out. But now there's, APCs in the gray zone and tanks on so deep on either flank, they're in another zip code. And it's working.
Winning the ground, that doesn't mean not using vehicles. It just means they're not aiming to control the vehicle space. It means they're not going for vehicle domination. They're just using the vehicles in order to win the ground. And that's what they've done. And when the vehicle's not under any threat as it was in those first 2 objectives, I mean, you just lose objectives. That's just, everyone knows this from their public games. If you don't control the tank that's left clicking on you 100 times per minute, what do you think is going to happen?
100%.
This is the biggest argument for please, for the love of God, have a pilot in your team in this tournament that I've seen yet.
Because if you look at Zumbrum flanking there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't even think he's going for that, like, to prevent them from holding. I think he's getting ready for the next capture point.
Yeah, look at they're already putting marks on the map for where they need artillery at. I'm watching that in the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
They know that they have to control that hole. The U4PD is building like crazy. That's the 3rd or 4th heavy machine gun nest I've seen, but they just can't break the momentum of U45.
Well, that's the thing. If you're that displacement of capturing a zone, if you can capitalize on that, then it's so hard to prevent it.
Yeah.
This is also another one of the greatest strategies. You see Hero that's running around that has gorillas, and guess what? He's already in the objective.
Oh wow!
You can't stop it.
On there.
Want to take a look at that?
Oh, this is not quite what I was expecting. This one, I think they knew what was coming, but they just couldn't hold them. They couldn't hold the first 2. Third one at least they had a bit of more of a slogfest, but 4th one they're already losing now.
I mean, there's a reason that they won the last tournament. There's a reason that they're projected to be the favorites in 90% of all predictions for winning the whole thing.
It doesn't even matter that half his team are taking the objective already. The APC game, all around the right-hand side on the airstrip, the landing strip, is ridiculous. Like the artillery strike as well, he's called in. So even now that they've all died on the objective, it doesn't matter. They've got such great positions for rally points, for APCs. Even this was definitely planned not, we saw that, but he hid it behind a very specific sandbag that's already there.
Oh, now, absolutely.
They have a full
I'm watching a hero just spawn on the APC of the runway, and it's driven right into U4PD's rally point, and everyone hopped out and mowed each other down and killed the rally. But an APC is not a rally; it can survive a bullet. So now that's their rally. Now they get to sit in that spot.
Yeah.
I think that aggression that we see from U45 is just unlike anything that you could possibly expect from nearly any other team.
It's just raw, unadulterated aggression. It's
100%.
Don't give the enemy any space to build rallies. Don't give them time. Don't give them anything to prepare. They probably know that at least their team strategies partly revolve, at least the U4PD strategies partly revolve around building barbed wire, building HMGs, building all this. We've seen this in all the previous games. And that
it's the defensive specialist versus the attacking, versus the hyper-aggressive group, and they're trying to epitomize their ideals against each other.
Yeah.
And so far, the hyper-aggressive has determined that their best course of action is not to change their strategy, but to eat their Wheaties, put on their big boy pants, and punch them even harder in the mouth.
Absolutely. It's also like the just bunker hiding people versus Unga Bunga. Unga Bunga is like it's putting in work here.
Something also has to be said about the skill of the U45 players. Unga Bunga works, having the mindset works, but you got to have the skill and the aim to back it up. You got to have the wrists.
Absolutely, yes, undoubtedly,
and that is something that they are really showing.
I think
this is only match 1.
Yes, I think it's funny too because like U4PD versus was it the Legionnaires? They like. Same thing, like they were able to just push every time they captured a point, and now it's just like Uno reverse card. Like I think Legionnaires were just like too slow to react, and now that's the ball that the court that they're in. They just can't react fast enough.
Win these games is always just get to the objective quickly. Do not allow the defending team to have enough time to set up defenses, because once you do, it becomes very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And U45N have become masters at preventing the enemy team from having any space to breathe here.
100%.
You know, I thought for a little bit that U45 would take things easy because there's not their counterpart from Russia or North America in the group, but it appears that we did not discount the want of the master to school the student. I will admit I did not discount.
1.8 PC setup, by the way, is crazy. The amount of spawns they've got around me, not actually that close to the next objective, but for the last objective, they have 2 APCs on the far right side, far right side, open, only hidden behind sandbags. These should be very visible. Left side, they also had one, like and a bunch of rallies towards the middle. Like this is unbelievable options they've given themselves, whilst some of them just stand on the objective wreaking havoc, causing U4PD to force themselves to go on the objective to defend it. Meanwhile, this is all happening. They've got all these spawns around both sides and the center that it doesn't matter when that person eventually dies on the objective, they'll just spawn 10 more in different places. And what can U4PD do to coordinate to stop them? Nothing.
Yeah, that's something is that I wonder if they're not thinking that if they put the APCs too far out, that it will not be worth the time and manpower that it takes to go out of your way to destroy it.
Indeed.
So it's you're having to really they need a plane. That's it. They get a bomber, get a Su-2, please. You know, a tank will work, but a bomber would work great.
They U4PD have not. Maybe they've identified them, but they haven't got near to destroying them.
Right, because it's so far away, and if you want to destroy them, you need to cross the entire battlefield to abandon the objective. And U45N also has guys, oh, look at that, they're leapfrogging the rallies, they're so much closer now.
Yeah, look.
How many rallies is that? That's 6 rallies.
Oh, geez.
It's crazy.
I gotta see this.
Yeah, 6 rallies from U45.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can see 7.
Yeah, 1 just got blown up.
8.
That's
Incredible.
not even counting
Wow.
APCs.
This is crazy, insane setup here.
Yeah.
Like, what can you do against that? When everything's hidden behind a wall or out in the desert, we have to run for 10 minutes to go and get it. You have to pick your battles.
You need a plan, dude. That is the best thing to do. If they had a P-38 Lightning in the air right now with the center-mounted rockets and the center-mounted cannons, you could trace the little infantry ants running across the ground.
Yeah.
And see what's going
able
on.
to spot the APCs that are on the side really quickly. If they could kill those side rallies, they'd be in a much better shape because all they'd have to do is face the guys coming from the center. And everyone knows coming from the center is the easiest part. You just have to look straight forwards. You can't account for the guys inside. And if you don't do that well enough, it's going to be trouble. Because now, look, they're just all in their spawn. Look at what's happening.
Heroes built the heavy machine gun.
we're watching Maniac just completely destroy all their rallies, the far side, and the heavy machine guns at the back as well. Like the guys.
Yeah, Heroes built the heavy machine gun and now has them in a crossfire.
Oh,
when
that's
they spawn,
a beautiful
they have
placement.
to run. That is a beautiful placement. That's one of the ones that I identified. The only way you're gonna do that is by killing it with the tank from the hill, but then you have a tank on the hill. It's nowhere near the point.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
Yeah, GG.
And here's the thing, is that we shouldn't discount U4PD as well. That amount of defenses that they were building would have stopped nearly anyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it can't stop a truck that is U45N.
A steamroller is what that is. It was inexorable, had God himself appeared before him, arms outstretched, palms facing the sun, beseeching them to slow down. They could not, within all their power, turn back from what was going to happen.
Yeah, no, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Is there any other games still going on that we can flick between?